but why she
All right,
wipe the
so we
camera
should
lens out?
be.
We are live. All right. Welcome to the 6 to 12 Eyes podcast, where you have three friends of over 35 years express their views, opinions about life, raising kids, rearing kids, the whole nine. My name is Xavier Black, one of the hosts. Latricia Penny is another one of our hosts, as well as Mr. Sherman Harris. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing a video that went viral where southeastern Michigan, specifically the Inkster Police Department, uh, randomly pulled people over and gave them gift cards. Gift cards to go get groceries, gift cards to go get gas, gift cards. Now, scaring the hell out of them because they stopped them. Like they stopped them for real. They didn't know they were getting a gift card until they pulled them over. So today we're going to discuss that entire thing, and that's where we're going to start. As you know, if you've ever followed our podcast, that's where we start. That is not where we finish.
Hey man, speak on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, sure.
I'm trying to get my life together.
You know, as we're all trying to get our lives together, and anyone can check YouTube, and it says Inkster Police, but you're going to have to scroll down because there are some other things about the Inkster Police before you get to the one that we're mentioning.
Yeah, I did notice that.
So it says the actual description is Inkster Police traffic stop ends in surprise.
Right. So when you view that, like I said, you do have to go through a couple of others before you get there usually. But if you have the correct title, you can go straight to it. One of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did this time around, and just periodically, that we do capture some of the more positive things that are going on, because this year and the past few years, there have just been a whole lot of other things going on. So that have not been all that fantastic. So we did want to start off with something that's not our usual police expectation. I guess that's what we're gonna say. So,
well, I mean, yeah, that's what you can say. Boom.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I want to go ahead and try something. Is it okay if I try to see if we can show the video?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
I'm just saying we already talked about it. All right, let's see what happens.
Hey, let's roll.
Wish me luck, y'all. Wish me luck, y'all. Hopefully the right video comes up.
At least you're gonna be like that pastor. That pastor got caught.
Just close the laptop, dog. Just close the laptop.
Today.
Which is why our conversation ends up going all these other different places.
Was the video actually showing?
It shows him having a conversation with someone, and it's the split screen. And he said, "Follow me with this." And as he hit,
like Bible study, he literally was the pastor, and he was on a stream, and he was telling people to go to the website to get the other thing. He didn't realize he didn't take down his other site. So when he opened his computer to check,
and he didn't shut it down properly either. He didn't shut it down.
The relaxation scenario prior to getting online was still being shared.
I did not know about. See, I tell you I don't watch the news. So.
Yes,
it's not on the news. I want to say I sent it to you all.
But to answer your initial question, Sharon, no, it didn't play.
All right, bet.
Okay, so we're gonna add that link into the chat.
I just added it to the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the chat right now.
Okay, awesome.
But it was a really heartwarming story about the Inkster Police just pulling people over and giving them gift cards. And it was probably a couple of people that was like, oh, no, I know I got some stuff on my record. I can't believe they pulling me over. Oh, you get a gift card? Thank you, God. Give me this gift card. Let me get the hell up out of here. But
Right.
Hats off to the Inkster police for trying to do something.
And it's a,
Yeah, I think you run the risk of giving people a heart attack for the reason in which you said it. Now, I think most people, they don't have issues like that. Generally in general, people don't have issues like that. But either way, you see those red and blue lights behind you. Your heart rate raises. You could
Man,
inadvertently give someone a heart
mhm.
attack.
that is straight up fight or flight mode right there, like
Yes,
instantly, like,
yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
like
but I do appreciate the gesture, especially
absolutely.
in such a time, because we could I poke holes at it or poke fun at it, as to what could have happened. But no, to really focus on the generosity of it all, and the genuineness of it all. When you see these people, they're
Yeah.
they're 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 truly shocked, truly surprised, and then they feel blessed by it. You know,
Actually, yeah, they do feel appreciation. You're right.
and I can't imagine that all of those people had 100% positive uh, feelings towards the Inkster Police Department prior to that interaction, just
Absolutely.
based on the number of interviews. I mean, the number of videos. If you pull up Inkster Police, I'm just saying, you know what I mean. They were extending the olive
Mhm.
branch. You know what I mean. Could have gone horribly wrong. Glad it
Mhm.
was. Glad it went as well as it did. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it could be used to create more of solidarity with the police officers and the recipients, meaning that the police officers get an opportunity to see people as human as well. Because all they, I do know that sometimes when they pull people over, there's this whole thing of, is going to be a easy, is this going to be easy or not? And
Right.
so, we tend to have that as well, but I think by them doing that, it at least sheds that, at least not everyone is someone that you need to be concerned with. Just because you're getting pulled over doesn't mean that they're going to be a jerk or what have you. I'm sure we all have had
Right.
experience. Well, I'm not going to speak for nobody else, but as a Black woman, I've had a few
A few.
experiences being pulled over. Um, okay, I wasn't always riding legal, but still, um, some of them were nicer than others. My college years was rough, man. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
look,
I
it
I almost saw
happens.
the front of a Kalamazoo jail.
Yeah. So
Uh,
so we I do think it was a good gesture. I think it did kind of shift. I think I want to say, I don't know for sure whether they have a new police chief or not
okay, I'm not
in
sure
I
either.
think
Inkster,
this is a fairly
because
new
it's a
police.
black
No, I
guy.
think
So I
Okay,
or whether he
but
just wanted to do something different, maybe because there's all these other videos. I don't know. Um
well, either way, you want to try and change the perception, because to your point earlier, you talked about them, when I say them, I mean the police approaching the vehicle, and wondering whether or not this is going to be an easy traffic stop, or this person going to be really, really difficult, you know. And the reverse of that, the cop coming up and the person feeling, oh, it's just going to be, you know. I think in those situations, we're taking a broad brush and painting everybody with the same brush. So,
mhm.
every cop is not going to be like whatever bad experience I've ever had. Every cop is not going
Right.
to be that. It would be wrong for me to put that on them.
facts.
And
Mhm.
Facts.
conversely, when cops come up, so they have to go through that same kind of process. So this is something to help break that ice and make it, I
Mhm.
don't know. Still ain't gonna make it easy. You pull me over this time. You give me a gift card. I see red and blue lights again. I know I ain't getting no gift card, but maybe
It's been
maybe
extended.
my relation, my feelings toward the person giving me the other thing is gonna be a little different.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
um,
Fair, fair. Fair.
I think the gesture was great. I think something needs to be done to bridge the divide. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and if you they apparently have had issues and they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to do better.
Right.
There's some groceries.
Right. I'm
Or
just saying. I
gas
mean,
or
you
something.
catch the wrong
Whatever
dude.
you would
Somebody
use it
might
for.
be scared and paranoid and get ready to run. But
Mm-hmm.
You know what,
your friend,
but if that was the reason that would have stopped them from doing it, then they ain't really want to do it in the first place. Because
right? And
first
I'm
of all,
sure
but when they got behind whoever they got behind,
they
I'm
already
sure
ran the
they
place.
ran
They
their
knew.
damn place, so they knew who they
Yeah,
was pulling over. You know,
they
oh,
knew what they were doing.
this Betty Johnson. Betty Johnson, good. This
Right.
ain't Tyrone.
Some of them videos that we saw prior to that video might be some of them people like, oh man, well since we got the video running, we might as well get this fool.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
let's see. It says that Chief William T. Riley the third has been in police chief of Inkster, Michigan for almost 5 years, and he says,
Oh,
and this
okay.
is his campaign. He is committed to protecting citizens, reducing crime, and enhancing officer training. So it says his focuses are,
Oh,
which makes me like this guy. His focus is
yeah.
on crisis intervention and substance abuse
Hmm.
disorder interventions, as well
Okay.
as experience in
Wow.
emergency management situations in Alabama. So, brother knows what he's doing. He's been there, done that. So, I see where
Okay.
this is coming from. That's a good look.
Okay. Well, that's cool that he's been there for a minute too. Because
Yeah,
I think
5
you
years.
get to learn the lay of the land, and that now his focus, or whether that's been his focus. Because one of the things I think that's a big thing with a lot of places is they don't do enough training in regards to dealing with people, especially now with substance and mental illness. A lot of them tend to be very kind of triggering to other people just because that's the word that everybody uses, which I don't like. But they have a
Yeah,
tendency of just by their presence and how they interact with people or how they talk to people. I can remember, being put over because I have been put over a few times, and just the demeanor. Um, the two guys were nice, but the woman, honey, I was like trying to keep myself together, and the police officer was assisting me because she took a very aggressive stance, and she was like holding on to stuff and everything, like she was about to kind of beat my ass, basically. Like she was just standing there, and I'm like,
mm,
this is just a regular traffic stop, like I'm not doing anything, and I'm just like trying to keep myself together. And the guy could tell he was like, everything is good. This is, whatever, whatever. And but her aggressiveness made me feel so uneasy, even though the two males were nice. The way that she was standing and looking at me and everything else was very like, how is this going to go down? Even though everything went fine, it was just like, wow, this is interesting. I have since
like you're
slowed
looking for
down
a fight.
and all this other things, but it's just like, wow, why do you have to be that way when everybody else is fine?
Maybe she felt like she had to prove herself as an officer to prove that I'll prove something to them that didn't have nothing to do with you. You
I'm
just
just trying to
happen to
show
be
up
the
for the
person.
boys.
Yeah, you just happen to be the person that got pulled over because it's you just described a scenario where it was three officers, which to me I don't see that very often. So I'm like, all right, well maybe she's showing
You will
out
see
for
them a whole lot here, but
three at a
Oh,
yeah,
I
time.
was gonna say, bro, that's how I used to roll. That's how they used to roll in Oakland County. If one coming, two coming,
yeah,
two coming, three
yeah,
coming. It's
yeah.
not
It's
just one.
several, and it's
By the
like
time
in the
you
in the
end that conversation, it's three or four of them right there.
yeah. Everybody done pulled up for nothing. So,
Hmm.
and I don't, it wasn't a lot of police violence. I don't believe, that was going on. Meaning, people weren't being aggressive towards the police when they were getting pulled over, but they were, riding strong and heavy, which in itself sometimes is intimidating or makes people feel uneasy. So.
I get that, but the flip side of that is
Mhm.
so we law abiding citizens.
Mhm.
We like you don't need all that for me.
Right.
But
However,
there's a segment, you
I
know,
mean, if I'm
that,
wrong, I'm wrong. All
they
right.
need all that. They need all that.
Mm-hmm.
They need all that,
Mm-hmm.
and so I get both sides of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna. I can't condone. I'm talking about. I get both sides of it in terms of having
Yeah.
backup and people there. I'm not gonna
Oh yeah,
condone
yeah.
her and
Mm-hmm.
her trying to pull her pants down and show you that her thing was bigger than those two guys. I'm
Yeah.
not that part, but
Yeah.
them needing
Safety in
support.
numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
When you're the person getting
I am.
pulled over, it could be a little more intimidating, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand. As long as you ain't got that shit going on. As long as you ain't got that shit with somebody trying
Mm-hmm.
to, you know what I mean?
Eh, I mean, it's hard to say. I've dealt with cops that have clearly been trying to escalate the situation, and it's been
Mm-hmm.
frustrating for them that I would not allow it to go that far, and then they just
Mm-hmm.
had to let me go or do whatever they were going to do because I'm just not going to feed into that. And then, um, at the same time, it's also been situations where if it weren't for the other cop, like Trisha's situation, that there might have been a situation because the other one was trying to like calm it down, like, why are you doing all this? Like, why are we even
Yeah.
having this conversation right now? Like, we got other stuff to do. Why are you trying to show
Mm-hmm.
out? So I think sometimes this there are those that do have the and I agree with you, it's a 50-50, but I think there are a lot more of those that have that superiority complex where they just want to show something or want to get something started before they try to de-escalate it, which I think is which leads me into where I think everything should go, and where again this guy, Mr. Riley, um, is in the right frame of mind of where things at this point need to be de-escalated. Like, we need to have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation first. You need to be an officer able to have a conversation, ask the right questions to dissect the situation to figure out if we need to be aggressive or if this person needs help. and
Mm-hmm.
and and there's two very different things. There are people that need to go to jail because they did something wrong. There are people
Mm-hmm.
that don't need to go to jail and need mental health facilities
Mm-hmm.
because they're doing something wrong that's not in their control.
Again, you thinking logically, those people who have these superiority complexes that would fall into that category where you said it's that those type of people, they don't care about that, they don't care about the mental health. That first of all, it's the rule of law. They're the rule. They hold the law, and if you broke it,
Mm-hmm.
then they're gonna do what they need to do. And
Mm-hmm.
if they just so happen, if they just so happen to also have some underlying racial prejudice in them, you being of a different hue from them is not going to help your case at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, good thing
that,
he's going for training. Going the training route, because I think, like you said, because I don't know how much training they have before they actually do pass. I don't think it's like a lengthy time frame. I know that they focus a lot on their physical, but I don't know how much de-escalation, how many, for everything else you have to have the, continuing ed. I don't know if they have continuing ed or not. I would hope that they would, but and what does that look like? Are you continuing to get like on a job training of how to de-escalate or how to handle certain situations, um or just even their mental health? Because I can't imagine at times if my day were to consist of me walking into a home and there's someone shot dead, or there's a baby tied up to something, or whatever, like I don't know whether they're taking care of themselves in that way for what they have to encounter on a daily basis. If you walking in
and
somebody done
very fair,
OD'd or somebody, they, I'm
very
sure,
very
see
fair.
so much. Yeah. So, and if
I
you're
mean, you
not
see
in a
enough
good
shit, you're
space,
gonna react to this shit.
you're gonna just be on 12 anyway. You're just gonna start your days on 12, because if they're not doing anything to make sure, like, okay, hey, did you go talk to anybody about what happened yesterday? You know, and you just got to show back up at work, and you've not talked to, you've not dealt with, you've not taking care of yourself in that way. And I don't know how much that's promoted.
I
You
the
haven't
only
been.
time I hear that, and I'm not an officer, I'm not in that
Mm-hmm.
field, but I know that after a major incident like a shooting, like you were involved in a shooting, then you got to
Mm-hmm.
go see the doctor. Okay,
Yeah.
you got to talk to somebody. But you know what's crazy is that I'm sitting here and I'm listening and my mind drifted because we've all worked in some sort of mental health or juvenile detention facility, okay, or institution.
We
And
worked with them.
yeah, we did that. And
Yeah.
how much would that have benefited us to have post incident or just weekly talks, because that shit was psychologically more stressful than any other job that I've ever had in my life when I got to wrestle a kid. Okay. And then years later to see something happen and somebody passes at that same place and those people get charged. Like we did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, and I hear the people judging. I'm like, but you've never been in that situation to
Yeah.
know what goes on. And I hear what you're saying, but until you've been there and you've been the one responsible for protecting the rest of them kids, the rest of the people there,
Mm-hmm.
and they teach you what you're supposed to do, but you that's there's no and there's no post psychological review to help the people who work in those type of environments, and
Right.
they go through that shit every day silently. And the amount of things that you did, the things you we all did it dealing with kids. And I
Mm-hmm.
still have visions about this one young lady that used to beat the hell out of us. She was like 8, and she was wonderful when she was on her meds. When she wasn't on her meds, she would beat the hell out of 5 grown men. She wasn't no big 8-year-old either. She was a regular, whatever, 8-year-old.
That poor
Five
little girl had
grown
so
men.
much hate on in her soul that she was as strong as a goddess.
Oh my God, man.
And but that's there and there, and it sucks because their de-escalation is called what we call fireman bars now, policeman bars. That's where they go and de-escalate with all the things that they don't need to de-escalate with. Those are the conversations that you need to have. Us in those same
Mm-hmm.
situations where we work where we had our local watering hose. We do what you
Mm-hmm.
did in at lunchtime because like I know I got another 6 hours with this drama and I got to figure it out. And I know the system is not going to help me because they're not
Mm-hmm.
on this. So you kind of it sucks because I kind of see that because you're on your own. You're basically on an island,
Mm-hmm.
because the system is not going to protect me, and I'm trying to do the right thing for this person,
Yeah,
but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time I'm going to look crazy. So I got both of you coming at me, and I'm the only one trying to protect the peace.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But you don't. But that being said, at the same time, I don't think that, and this is not a fault on all police organizations or anything like that, or first responder organizations. I don't think there's enough in the de-escalation, or you need to mandatorily have some time off to talk about what just happened,
Mm-hmm.
because that sucks. You should not have to walk off a murder scene and then go pull somebody over who's talking crap to you, and you getting ready to because this fool
Yeah.
just because Karen
Yeah.
is just having an issue and you just left 5 kids murdered in something or other. I get that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think and again, all this funding went towards all the wrong things, SWAT, tanks, stuff like that. When you need to,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, recruit the people that are actually going to have some type of compassion or be into that, and be able to give them that kind of training, but you don't want to pay for that. You'd rather pay for the person that just came 2 seconds out of special forces and needs a job because they're not being supported from the veterans organization. So they're just going to be a cop because that's what you can do is be a cop. But you still got PSTD going on from the crap you just dealt with across the seas. So now you got to deal with regular people. So I think to a certain point, in the hiring process. Who are you looking for to actually come into the organization that you can actually help? And when they get there, do they have the proper training? Because there's no way in hell that you can tell me, like Dre just said, that you can come away from an 8-hour shift where you have been physically dealing with people and mentally dealing with people, having to stop and write down a coherent report. And then you have to go home and handle your kids. And everything's supposed to be okay. And you show up at 8 o'clock the next morning and take all them same kids that just finished trying to whip your ass to school.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's all, in my opinion, it's all in the training. And if we're not worried about where these officers come from, these firefighters, these first responders come from,
Mm-hmm.
then we're not doing them their due justice.
I will say from my experiences that if I had to choose, I absolutely love the firemen best.
Oh yeah,
They so laid back. They're helpful. It's just a whole different vibe.
they got some
Um,
dark ass humor though. That's some really dark humor though.
I don't know them in that way. I just know that they've always like, hey, they one of the first ones there, and they're usually calmer, and they're usually nicer. Um, and I don't know about the humor, but I appreciate them because they usually settle. They have more of an even keel, and they have more of a
I feel
calming
that.
presence, I would say, than
I
even the
feel that.
EMS people. Because some of them, depending on their day, they have a day, and who knows what
Oh
their
no,
day has entailed. But they just some of them are a little different.
Listen,
I'm not calling y'all out, but I have two of them, and they are
firemen. I'm fun fact, not
Fire
fun fact,
people,
but fire. They're called
firefighters.
firefighters. I
firefighters.
wanted,
Yeah.
I wanted to be a fun fact. I was two things: firefighter, marine. Like if I was going to do some things, those would have been my two things. But
Hmm.
to your point about how they're calmer, well, yeah, because what they deal with don't have a conscience. You know they're like you're just a person. You're regular man, whatever, dude. I gotta run into this burning, unpredictable ass building. You you're a human. There's so much predictability about you. This
Hmm.
fire, this fire don't care nothing about nobody.
Uh-huh.
That's right. I guess you're right.
I mean,
You get
you
that
got
call.
they run into burning buildings.
Hmm.
You got a
So
very valid
so
point.
when you come up with what's the problem, man? Ah, you have your name, please.
It's
Ah,
okay.
la, 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 la. You said down there, right? All right.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
Okay,
Dealing
point
with Karen
taken,
and dealing
point
with fire
taken.
is something different.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. So
So to end that final point, it just needs to be a little bit more de-escalation. That's my thought. That's my final point on that
hmm
one. Is
and I think
I
that
think
the
train
act of kindness was a great gesture. I think it did hopefully will, like I said, help both sides. That the police will remember to be human and remember that they're dealing with other humans.
So
right.
I think that there's been a lot more emphasis on mental health. As a matter of fact, the former the former police chief. Oh my God, I don't want to call him the wrong name. He's a former police chief of Detroit Police. He left to
Hmm.
go head the head uh oh my gosh, why am I messing up my words? The health department. He's the
Hmm.
head of the health department now. So he
Hmm.
left there so that he could be able to bring his knowledge from the police department into mental health so that that could spread and he can actually help that spread, you know,
Hmm.
and into other entities. So I thought that's um proof that what you said, Sherm, it's in the works. It's just slow. It's just moving slower than what we would want
Well,
in
like,
terms of
yeah.
them having the people having the training. Yeah,
Hmm.
we just start talking. It just start being cool to go. to go talk to somebody, man. Before then,
I know.
before then
I
you was
know.
crazy.
I
You
know.
was crazy when you go talk to a therapist. You crazy. Now it's okay. So that stigma, even especially within the ranks of like the police department or the fire department,
Mm-hmm.
those entities, no, you weren't supposed to go talk to anybody. Now it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot more acceptable. If you did talk to somebody, you had something wrong with you. And even with people in general, now
Well, I
it's
mean, that's
much
just
more
in
acceptable.
general thing. Yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
can
For,
happily
for
tell
me,
me.
for me, I want them to screen. If you want to screen for not just their mental health, screen to see if they have some kind of racial issues. They got kind of don't bring them on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
But
would want them to
okay.
I
screen
mean,
for.
you need a background check before you need to be somebody who can do a background check, flat out. Like, just oof,
Okay. So the
oof.
other thing. So is that a place that needs people? Because is it a number thing that they just need the bodies as well? Because as we sit here and talk, I don't know nobody who was just like, oh yeah. When we were younger, maybe people wanted to be police officers. I don't think that that as many people like, oh, when I grow up, that's what I want to do. And so is it more of
Ooh.
a, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes they may just need the numbers. And sometimes when you need numbers,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
You go for the 2.5, the
you just
2.3 student, and like you can
you
come on
know,
in, and
you
because police
yeah,
academy is
you
only going
may
to be
can't go
eight
for the five
weeks.
because the five ain't even applying. So you
right.
may
Right,
have to do the
right.
best with
Yeah.
what you have. I mean, I'm just wondering because I don't hear as many people say, "Hey, yeah." Every so often I hear like, "Yeah, this is something I want to do." But when I say I maybe have heard that twice in 20 years, I mean what I said. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I agree with you. I agree. Last time I heard it, I was working at the University of Phoenix. One of my coworkers was a criminal justice major, and he said um,
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to go into the police department. Of course, white dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time I heard it was maybe like 3 years ago, and it was
Mm-hmm.
a brother working at the convenience store, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm training to be a corrections officer, not a cop, but a corrections officer."
And that's a whole
But
different beat.
but
Ugh.
but again, he was working at a gas station, so I got it. I'm like, you trying to get up out of here and get some benefits and trying to, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is, you're he's going to be a corrections officer just because he wants a better paying job with benefits. The other one's going in because, hey, I know I can get some money, because if I come out with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, I'll be able to be whatever. But I'm going to be a regular
Mm-hmm.
beat cop. And mind you, the person I'm talking about ain't the most social person on the planet. Like, you ain't really been too outside
Mm-hmm.
of your circle, your
Circle.
little Mormon
Yeah.
circle. So how are you going to deal with Javier or Tyrone on the south
Mm-hmm.
side of Phoenix when you up here going to the temple in Mesa after you get out of your thing every day? You don't have those kind of connections. So yeah, you're gonna go up
Mm-hmm.
and make a nice check because you got a criminal justice degree. And then we got a brother coming in here getting ready to go to the shithole to deal with more shitty people in the corrections department. So
Well, in all
at the end
fairness,
of the day, it's the type of people.
and not that I've done prison, but I did work in a jail, and what I found is the correction officers tend to have way more issues than the inmates.
You said it. I didn't say
There
it
were
out
some
loud.
that were really, really good, and then there were more. And the ones that were good were good. Like they were just good. They could de-escalate. They treated people humanely. They were like really, really good people. But then I also witnessed a whole lot of complexes, a whole lot of authority, like wanting to be the whatever, or, just that hierarchy that they felt like they had to have all the time. And not
Right.
saying that you don't need one,
I
but
got the
the
badge.
way that some people, I was like, dang, I hope you make it. Cause like, I don't care who you are, the way that some of them people, some of the officers treated the inmates was just awful. I was looking at them like, damn, I need to be talking to your ass. Like I don't.
I agree with that.
You know,
So
so
I agree with that because the brother that was trying to go into the corrections, I was like, "Ooh, I hope I never go to jail and see you because you just, ooh, brother, I don't know if
it
that's a
was
good job for
bad.
you. 'Cause
I want to
you might
say
Yeah.
get
what
caught."
I said earlier. I said they should screen for racial, and yeah, that is something that I want, that I would like
Hmm.
to see more of. But it's not that.
Right.
It's that um, narcissistic, if
Hmm.
superior. I'm greater than. If you have that kind of complex, God
Hmm.
complex, no, you cannot
Hmm.
be a correctional
Ne-
officer.
Neither
No,
one of those job
not be a police officer.
Yeah.
No, you cannot. You're not gonna make it in any of the armed forces. And if you make it
Hmm.
through, then you could be that. If you make it through and you go up the ranks, you can make it. But you're not gonna have an
But let's
inferiority or superiority
Oh
complex.
no,
but let's
those are
be
the ones that get
honest.
the rifle thrown in their hand and get sent right on out.
I was just about to say, like, let's be honest, because depending on who know who, you might just if we all just being 100%, like that may or may
Right.
not be a deterrent. That may be like you really go up in the ranks because you got people looking out for you that will help you go up in the ranks. Not that you're great, but you come from whatever who family them been there for 20 years and this, that, and the other, or whatever. It's not always, because of you've earned it as well. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah,
Right.
yes and no. That's ideal though. It's definitely ideal. But is it real?
Yeah.
Mm,
So
that is
these
the
are the things
question.
that we
Is it real?
discuss. So yeah. And so, what else has been going on this month?
Well, on a lighter note,
Hmm.
and my question is, I wonder if I really would love to do a poll on the younger kids these days, but and we've discussed this before. A Different World, the
Hmm.
spinoff of the Cosby Show, probably one of the greatest sitcoms in the history of the American
Hmm.
cinema or American television, which inspired lots of us to go to college or at least want that lifestyle or to be a little bit more conscious or politically involved with everything, is coming back out. So the old what nine six se- six seasons are coming back are already out on Netflix, and the new Different World is coming back out. Do you think, and this is a question to both of you, do you think that kids coming up today will view this show the same way that we viewed it? Do you
No,
think it will inspire them the same way that it's inspired our generation?
no, because it was we were inspired by that show and the collective of things that went along with that show and that were happening at the exact same time. Just them having that show is not going to be inspirational. It may be inspirational to some individuals, but if you think about it, we had that, we had music. We were living in the greatest generation of music ever. Love songs, R&B, hip hop, rap, jazz, the whole nine. Okay. All of those things. And then in that, we're getting inspired by these things. What they're gonna be inspired by? Sexy Red?
She probably ain't at Hillman. Just saying. Shoot, and let's be clear. Shoot, Megan done got her degree.
Yeah, the
Well, I
stallion
mean,
has got a degree. I mean, Sexy Red could do a
Yes.
show at Hillman and maybe
my
decide maybe
my
she might go
I'm
to.
just saying that does not seem. I'm not knocking her because I don't know her. However, that doesn't
Right,
seem to
right,
be her
right.
platform.
that's not a
How,
platform. Exactly. That's
At
my
all.
yeah.
point.
It's not. It's
We,
not.
I could rattle off
However,
R&B and hip hop 35 on each side of songs of artists that were inspirational to us that pushed us in the same direction that A Different World pushed us. Okay.
well, I don't
Run
know
down a
what the
whole
new
bunch of
is.
Public Enemy songs. I can run, and
Okay.
then or just in general, Public Enemy, The Cosby
Hmm.
Show, all these other positive pro-black things, okay, that were going on that coincided with a different world. If you just give them just a different world, you know,
Well, I would.
you giving them fish. You ain't teaching them how to fish.
I don't know what the lineup is, meaning the people that they're going to choose for the show, or who's actually producing, because I think those things matter. And if they
Um,
decided to incorporate real world topics that are going on, it may be able to be. I think it kind of depends on the mix. I've been pleasantly surprised by certain artists. Like you can barely find them, but there are some people kind of talking good stuff and trying to get it back to it being an intellectual conversation, to be a social conversation in their music.
But the question was, okay, not what if all those if you had more of that. The question was, will this generation with this new show, as everything stands right now, will this generation have the same kind of effect that we had? And my thing is, as it stands right now, no, they don't have the things that coincided with it.
They probably won't look at it because it's not a housewife show. I don't know.
And then there's that shit. But that's my point.
Yeah.
They've been programmed with so many things to push them in a different direction than a different world. We were getting pushed in a different world. We had black medallions. Okay,
Hmm.
it was red,
Oh,
black, and
yeah.
green. Okay, we had
I just
colors.
saw a post on that the other day about that. Actually,
We had all of these things that were pushing
Hmm.
us toward this positive self-image of ourselves. Okay, and we talk about this every show. Every show we talk about this.
we do, we do.
Okay, and then it stopped, and then we started to buy into the self-hatred.
But you don't think that? I think that we're moving in a time where some people are becoming more aware. Not everybody, but I think it's back on the incline. I'm not going to say that I think it's made a whole bunch of impact, but I do think that there are more people, especially I think, that are more inquisitive spiritually and everything else. I think there's the one category of people, but then I think that there's these other people who are trying to figure it out and looking for something positive. They got that whole, and not that I'm big into anime or anything like that, but they have this whole other thing that black people are doing that I ain't really, but it's a whole bunch of the young ones and they're into it, and it has all of these other ways of thinking that may have been considered what we may have considered like nerdish or what have you, but there's a different way of being that a whole group
It's a nice
of
way to
young
say it.
black, yeah, kids are doing. So whether they was it cosplaying or what, all of the stuff they did be traveling and all this other stuff, and just stuff that is different. So they're not necessarily listening to the same thing as what the other group is listening to. They're into other things. So
Okay.
I don't know. It
So
gives me a little bit of promise that it may not be a bulk of them, but I think that there may be a lane, because I think the youth now are questioning more and they're trying a little bit more. So they're gonna have to sell it a different way. But I think
is
if you
the
get
show
enough,
gonna be is the premise of the show gonna be the same?
Well, from what I understand, the premise of the show is going to be very much the same. There's going to be you're still going to have this time probably a Denise that goes through the whole series of the show that's actually going to
Question.
last.
Let me be specific. Is it a college show?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's based in the
Okay, then
HBCU.
my answer is definitely no. This
We're
generation will
still at
not
Hillman.
receive that the same because we were pushing college. We were pushed towards college. Right now, that's the last thing on the majority of these young people's minds because they feel they watched us go into debt. They watched us accumulate all of the student loan debt that we had and having to work towards and still paying it back, some of us. You know what I mean? and then still struggle in the job market. So their processing is completely different, completely different. They see their peers becoming millionaires using this tool, the internet, and not going to school at all, or maybe going and learning some sort of
A
getting some
trade.
sort of knowledge, right?
Certification.
But
Yeah.
but not pushing like we were pushed to go get degrees.
I wasn't pushed, but go ahead.
Okay, well, okay, not
I was.
pushed.
I was.
I was not
I
pushed.
was
I
I
made a
was
decision I wanted to get out, and that was one of my avenues. It was going to be the military or school. So I wasn't. It wasn't a thing. I
It's
just
the
knew.
second time it's been said today.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, I feel like I was pushed because I was given that ultimatum too. You either going to military, or going to school. I wasn't going to the military, so you know,
I wasn't given an ultimatum. These were decisions that I made on by myself. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I wasn't pushed in that way. Um,
Mm,
I just wasn't pushed in
mm,
that way. That wasn't a thing. It was a decision that I did kind of solo because that wasn't a thing that was really discussed. It wasn't like my father was like, whatever, for whatever reason, not knocking it, but it wasn't anything that I was pushing. I realized me and Bayla are different. I didn't push her either. I just thought she was going to have that thing that I had about, oh, this is what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't get that. So I didn't teach that. And it wasn't, for me, I was just like, looking back, of course, I'm like, damn, I really didn't, prepare her like I could have prepared her about that being a thing, because our mindsets was different, and I did raise her different, and it wasn't anything that was like, oh, this is what you got to do, or these are what your options are, blah 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 blah. It was something that I made a decision about because I wanted something different for me. It wasn't that it was pushed, and so I was never real heavy on, oh, these are the things you got to do by, I wasn't threatened about getting out. I wasn't threatened about anything at that time. I wasn't hell. Everything I did, I just made a decision. I knew I had to go to school because I just had to. And so, I can't really say the same thing. It was more of
mm.
a decision. It wasn't an ultimatum. It wasn't even like a discussion over a period of time. As soon as I got to high school, that okay, by 18 you better blah blah blah. It wasn't some of the stuff that other people, went through. I didn't. I can't say that I did.
As a young black male living growing up in Detroit at that time, my mom wanted to make sure I
Yeah.
had the best chance of surviving. So my choices were to go to school or go to the military. It was leaving Detroit. She
Hmm.
wanted me to grow up. I mean, to make it to that point. There are so many of my peers that didn't. So
Right.
I get it. But that I don't think that I still don't think that school's necessarily being pushed. That's not on the agenda of a lot of the young people.
Hmm.
Which I think it should be, uh, because I don't know how long this lasts. How long does this last where you as a independent individual can just make money on the internet by yourself? It's,
Hmm. I'm caught dead center in the middle. Um, I think. Well, part of me. Well, first of all, I do think that there are a certain section of us and the young people that we have raised or they're coming up now that will feel the same inspiration that we felt from that era.
Hmm.
Somehow, shape, or form, I feel like there is also a resurgence of that to a certain level of
Hmm.
the conscious era, the backpacker era. I feel like there is a certain level of that coming back, and you can see that in different levels with fashion, like Fubu and Cross Colors making the coming back. Black business owners such as uh, uh, Lenny Lenny Smith that owns Actively Black, who's
Yeah.
just directly going against everybody with
Hmm.
steadfastly. By the way, congrats to him. By the way,
Oh my
um,
goodness.
and then I also think that there is a difference too. I think that there was a time where everybody was like, "Go to school, go to school, go to school." Well, we came up And that's the only way that you're going to work out. And then you get to be 45 or 50 years old and you find out that you're going to get screwed over by about five or six different companies, despite how much you worked and despite what your education is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that pushing that agenda took away stuff like vocational schools, stuff where people could just come straight out of work. We've talked about this with me and Sporty talk about this all the time. If you come straight out of high school and you've been taking all these electronics degrees or woodworking classes, you can come right out of school and be a business owner and an entrepreneur right out of high school. You don't need all that. Now maybe if you need that business side and you can go to online
Mm-hmm.
university such and such, you can go to Oakland Community County, Wayne County Community College, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or make that decision. All right, well, I've been in the game a little bit, I want a little bit more about the business side, let me go to college. I
Mm-hmm.
think that those two extremes from a young level should be, those two options should be presented to young people at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
I remember taking woodshop, or you had an option to take woodshop all the way from sixth grade on when I came up.
Mm-hmm.
Just with they actually had a mechanics or auto school within my school, and it closed. They quit those doing those classes just before I got into school. But I think that those options should be presented. I don't think that you should have the option of just military or school, because I went to school based on the same thing. I was like, oh, I can go join the military, but I ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna let nobody tell me yes sir, no sir. I ain't kissing nobody's ass. And at the same time, I saw a whole bunch of dudes that graduated a year before me put on that stuff, and I'm watching them on CNN running across the desert, and I'm like, well, that's not gonna be my life, nor does my mother want that to be my life. So I, so my point is, I think that there should be more of the vocational side, or the side that you can do something different, should come up. I mean, not to seeing examples of young people now who have who decided this is just what I'm going to do, and hopefully I'm going to be successful at it: acting, modeling, writing, creating some kind of software or some kind of app that did something, or you know or they made the internet work for them and then learn the
Mm-hmm.
business on that other side. I think all those options should be presented. And so going back to my point, I do think that we're kind of like 50-50, but I do think, and I agree with Trish, that there is a sect of us that are back to what we were in the late 80s, in the 90s. As I'm just I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm gonna be inspired by the people that came before me to fight against all odds. I might not be Dr. Huxtable, but I may be somebody else that's going to do the same thing. Maybe I might be Dr. Benton in ER, or I might be Mike Epps running my auto shop, or
Mm-hmm.
those. I think those options should be presented. I don't think it should be so cut and dry.
Even when we were in school, they had
We
the
have
vocation.
VOTEC too.
They did, but you know what? They had it, and I really can't tell you that it was promoted because I couldn't tell you. I knew what it was. I knew
Because it was on a decline by then.
I knew it. Yeah,
Well,
exactly. And then
well,
and
It
then
was
and
on a
it was
decline by then.
completely then it was completely taken away. You
Yeah.
know. So,
I think it was
but
still
even
there
when it
where we were because I knew someone who was still doing it. So
okay,
it
what
kind
But
of
I'm
it was
saying,
depended.
it was
but what
definitely
I'm
towards the end, though.
but what
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying is,
Hmm.
it was there. They did have wood shop. They did have mechanics. They did have
Bakery
co-op.
too.
They had all of that.
Yeah, I
All of
was in a
that,
co-op.
all of that,
Yeah,
culinary arts, all of that.
yeah,
If you were
yeah.
in it, in my school, from what I knew, if you were in it, you were in it. But it
Oh, they
wasn't like
weren't any more recruiting or anything.
there was no recruiting, there was no
There wasn't no telling.
promotion, there was no
Yes,
telling you this is an option, there was nothing that you
Right,
didn't
that's the
have any
counselor
of
thing
that.
too.
Okay,
right.
That's the
so
counselor thing. Yeah. Hmm.
school cultural thing.
Yes.
Okay, because we're not
You
gonna
would
put
know
it
a
on
lot about.
just the counselor. It's the
Yeah.
school cultural thing. Because if that's what you do, you push that in general. Um,
Hmm.
but And I think those are wonderful opportunities. In my previous employment, I had an opportunity to change the lives of an awful lot of people, and getting them into skilled trades. One young man in particular started my program essentially fresh out of high school. At this point, he's probably 22, maybe 23, a journeyman lineman, and well over six figures without even trying.
Wow.
So those are options.
Hmm.
But to the point of the initial question,
You
which I
said what?
believe which I believe said, okay, because y'all keep saying I agree,
You
I
see that
agree. I'm like,
360?
I
You see
still
that
disagree.
360?
Because
I
y'all
know,
keep
I feel
saying
I,
you. And
there's a
that's oh,
small
and that's
segment,
fair.
and I agree. There is a small
And
segment.
that's absolutely
yeah,
fair. That is
General,
absolutely fair.
yeah.
they're not gonna feel that. Now, if they tweaked it, and then you had some sort of entrepreneurial um, component to that, which speaks to them a little more. Now you speaking to them in a language that they might understand. Fine.
Hmm.
But if you preaching to them to go to college, go to debt, go take out a loan, and go 4 years of college. Maybe you get a job when you get out, but you for damn sure gonna have debt. They not trying to hear that.
Well, that
Yeah,
wasn't the
yeah.
message then either.
Well, yeah, and well,
That wasn't the
here's
message then. The message was what was going on in relationships and world topics and stuff like that. It wasn't so much about school. I think it was more about the relationships of them interacting with each other, what was going on in the community and other things. I don't.
You said okay.
right.
Let me go back to it again. Let me
It
go
was a,
back.
it
Let
was
me
a
let me
growth
let me let
speaking
me
with
go
different
back to it
people.
again. The initial question: will this generation be affected the way
In
that
the same way.
we were
In the same
affected?
way.
And
Okay.
I am saying
All right. All right. Fair enough.
they're gonna feel
Fair
some
enough.
of that, yes. But the
Yeah,
question
no, I don't
they
I'm
gonna
not
feel it.
asking you to agree. I'm
Yeah,
asking what your thoughts were. I'm not asking you
Yeah.
yeah,
to agree. I'm asking to see what your thoughts were.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that how the show could prosper, and I think this is how it I really actually have really good hopes for this. And I've been rewatching all the old ones, having flashbacks of sitting in Draper Hall or Seaschlag Hall with like 20 folks trying to watch one little tiny ass TV eating ramen noodles. But um um I think if they handle this properly, which the people that are in charge, if they handle this properly, they will attack all those issues. And I think that it will I have hopes that it will be another inspirational show to a generation that as inspirational as it was to us. Hopefully that made sense. But
Mm.
I have hope for it because for some strange reason, I have hope for us, our young black youth. I can't give you a total 100% finger on it, why I think so, but
Yeah.
again, I think conscious will prevail. I just do. Call me hopeless, romantic.
Look, me too. I am the silver lining.
Just call me a hopeless romantic, but
Yeah.
I just think with the way that certain sides of the world are showing themselves or certain sides of the country are really truly honestly showing themselves and
Yeah.
as we always talk about the you fuck around and find out. I think that that has been a very positive thing, and I think that has been a very positive thing to these young folks, and I think they're probably getting in it a little bit differently than we did because people were subtle back in the day. In our day, now they just right out there with it, so now you can
Hmm.
just go ahead and talk about the problem right now. Let's get it squashed, or pick a side right now and just get it up with. And I think that that's promoting growth on our side.
Hmm.
Again, I think the slave masters running the slaves and not realizing that you're paying the slaves, and the slaves are just stacking that cash and getting as smart as hell. And pretty soon, you're really gonna be outnumbered on two sides, popularity wise, and on the money side
Hmm.
as well too. You gonna find out we ended up owning you. But you'll be grateful that we're not looking for um, revenge. We just want things to be okay.
Mm.
Well, I didn't know, and I don't know if you all have seen that and I don't know where they are, but that the Buddhists have been walking for peace. And I don't know if that's
Mm,
2 weeks
yeah, I
ago
have saw
or what have you.
something. I
Yeah,
have saw
so
something about it, but I wasn't really sure about it.
yeah, and I just saw a glimpse as well, but it's like they don't do that often, but they're walking for peace here in America. Um, and I just think that, like I said, that there people are being more conscious overall about it's a lot of crazy. The crazy always gets the magnifying glass, but we don't hear about all of the other stuff that's actually, like moving in the right direction, or how everything is shifting in different kind of ways. And a lot of people aren't, turning a blind eye or any of that. And well, dare I say, some of the allies have, been doing more work than, because I think we've consciously like, okay, yeah, this certain things ain't our battle no more because of the climate. But there's
Right.
still been a lot of allies that have been showing up, and shedding light on a whole lot of things as well. So for that reason too, I just like, I think some people, a lot of people getting tired because you can only like really abuse people for some people. Some people, they just get stuck, but for others, it's
Right.
like, yeah,
Right.
that was that one last line, that one little hair that been pulled or crossed or whatever. And it's like, yeah, we're not doing it. Absolutely not. And we've been doing so much, like even with the choosing not to buy on certain days and how where Target is right. I think it's just a lot of things are changing, and people, even some of the youngs, are just as active with a lot of the stuff. Like they're making some choices, whether they're doing it in school, whether they're just doing it online, whatever. They're making choices, and hey, we still ain't going there. Like I'm getting that sometimes. Like we still ain't going there. Or did you get the new one? Okay, we ain't doing this on this day. And it's
Right.
making its rounds. It's
I need
having
an
an
app for
impact.
that.
I'm just saying, like some of the stuff. And okay, so I had a really good discussion with a friend who I will not name, but we all know, around the decision to not do Black Friday, because that was a decision. And her take was, which made me think, and I had to just like kind of like, she kind of right. She was like, I don't think that was a good decision for Black people, because that's, if you're in a certain economic space, that is the day that you can get more stuff financially. Like if you're going to do it some other time. But if you already
Mm,
are on a budget, it wasn't advantageous for the people who don't have a whole lot of income. That if you're doing the Christmas, if you're doing the this, that, and the other, financially, that probably isn't the best day. And I had to say, you know what? I ain't buy nothing, but you making a point. And they were just like, that is
yeah,
when I'm getting I already got my stuff in my cart,
there's something to
because
that. There's something to that.
that
I
it's
thought
just
it
like
was.
if you go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I thought it was to not just not just to have that economic impact on that day, but it was also to address the what do you call it? It was also to address the importance or lack of importance of buying shit anyway. I can't formulate my words like I want to today. I'm sorry. You
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 fine.
just
All right.
spending money. You spending money Christmas because it's Christmas. So I'm going out and I'm gonna buy everybody gifts. Why? Because it's Christmas. No, you don't. The point about being if you're in an economic situation, then maybe
Hmm.
your ass shouldn't be spending money. Maybe you shouldn't be going out and trying to buy a 70-inch screen TV because the motherfucker's on sale. Maybe you
But if it's
shouldn't.
only a couple of $100, no.
I mean, I
I'm
get
just
it, but
It was a
or
dollar
I
per
mean,
or
inch. It was
that's a
only
good answer.
$70.
right, but
Huh?
that's my point. They pushing that to get us to spend money any damn way. For what? We got a holiday every month where we need to spend money on. And as
And
a
I get
man,
that. I
shit,
get that.
more
I'm
months
just
than
saying,
ever.
it
Others.
made me think. That was the whole thing that I'm saying. It made
That's
me
true.
think that
Very true.
that was a day that was financially advantageous for that could be if you were planning on doing the stuff anyway. If you're planning
Right.
on doing it and you want to stay in a budget, that particular day may have been a day that may have been financially advantageous for you to use that. It was just a thought. I thought it was like, I never thought about it that way. For the people that's doing it anyway, I'm not real big on, you know, shoot, Bayla was raised up until she decided that she liked all of the holidays. We didn't celebrate anything. So, I'm indifferent to a lot of things, but she likes being festive, and it made me not be so whatever. She already knew the truth of the thing, so I ain't have that as a thing.
Right.
But
Right. Like Santa Claus ain't real, boo boo.
yeah, she grew up
She
knowing
already
that.
knew.
She already knew. She bust a couple of people. One of my friends like, "You better watch your child." She tell it to, you know, she done told her
Why
they
y'all
ain't gonna
baby
say
saying
no
all
Don't be
these
mad
Christmas
at
things?
my
favors.
child because my child's a truth teller.
Why you telling my
I,
baby
I,
all these
I
things?
didn't
Why
I
my kid
didn't
coming
buy
home like
into
that?
it. I didn't lie there. I didn't lie. I didn't tell none of that.
Yeah,
Santa Claus, ho ho ho.
yeah,
I
um,
was like, guess who Santa Claus is? You know them three adults that take you back and forth to school all day?
yeah. Every time,
Oh,
you
That's
know.
Santa Claus. And it ain't Mr. and Mrs. Claus. They all together. That's Santa Claus.
You're right. Yeah. So
Welcome to the
I was
real
just
world.
saying, like, that was a point that was made that made me think. I was like, wow, because I know that we promoted more black. People were buying, but mainly from black people and all that other stuff. Like, so we weren't not buying. We were just choosing to use our dollar and make a statement for several different reasons.
small
Um,
Right.
business.
yeah.
I
That
mean,
was the
that's
big
really
thing. If you were
Mhm.
that
gonna
was really
spend
the only
money,
purpose.
it was shop local, shop small business. That was the biggest thing.
That was the
What was
main
the one
purpose.
guy? Was I think it was the ROTC guy in at Mumford. I can't remember his name, but that's what he always did. He always went on what's that area near 7 Mile where they have the small shops, all the black owned shops.
The Avenue of Fashion.
So he said every year he would go on Christmas Eve to get all of his stuff. That's where he went every year. Like he just did the local shops,
See,
and
that's
that
where I
was
need
his
to go
thing.
right now. That's where
Yeah.
I need to
So
find the Avenue of Fashion in Phoenix right now.
so
Hmm.
I ain't trying to do all that.
yeah. So are we talking? Are we gonna hit on at all what everybody else is talking about? Or are we gonna just let that be?
Let's go tee it up. Shit. Let's go.
Put it on the tee. Let's swing. Put it on the tee. Let's swing.
Go. It said go. Spam risk. Sorry, I
So
don't know why they had
so
it
what
on.
everyone else is talking about at least had some input was the infamous documentary.
Yeah. I don't have I don't first of all, I hear people having an issue with the fact
I got two words.
that the guy put it out, that 50 put it out.
Mm,
How can you do this to another black man? Hold up.
50's a hater too.
I don't give a damn
I like
about none of that.
50.
I don't care if he's a hater or none of that. I did
Mm-hmm.
watch the entire documentary, and I understand that you can piece things together and and it can skew it a certain way. But
Mm-hmm.
what you can't do is you can't misconstrue things that are actual facts that you can Google, that you can look up. That motherfucker was a monster. The fact that Diddy put it out and exposed it because he hates that motherfucker, that ain't my. I don't have no problem with that. He hate that dude. They hate each other. Whatever. He just exposed him for the monster that he was and all of the bad things that are on record, not the accusations. I ain't talking about the accusations. I'm talking about the fact that you screw people over money, that you did so many people wrong. You stole from this people. You did this. You did that. And then the whole sexual thing. Look, man, if that's your thing, I'm not gonna knock you. Whatever, you know what I mean. You just don't do kids. Do consenting adults, and y'all can go have whatever the fuck y'all could take all the baby oil and shit and do whatever you want. Just don't do no kids and do consenting adults. But
But
you
you
what
can't. But you
doing
can't say
consenting adults?
consenting. You
You
can't.
what? No, no,
You
no, no,
can.
no. I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying if you
Okay.
do consenting adults, do whatever
Okay.
the hell you want. But
Mm-hmm.
you can't
Right.
be baby oil and drugging people up and they don't know that they being drugged, or the nigga wake up and his
Did you
butt
keep the
sore,
baby oil to the
his
side?
butt sore. Sherm, let me tell you,
Bruh.
if I ever woke up and we were anywhere and I went to sleep and I was fine and I woke up, let alone there's another man in the bed with me and my ass sore, the whole house, wherever we are, we tearing it down.
Burning.
Everybody don't know
Burning.
something
Burning.
wrong. Oh
Burning.
my God. Dude said, I woke up and my ass was sore.
Burning.
No, I'm not even telling nobody that story. Are you kidding me? If I'm oh
I'm glad he
That
told
might
because
be the
there's
last one
been
to walk out, or I might not walk out, but ain't nobody walking up out that house.
yes. Oh, not
No,
unscathed.
no, no,
Oh, but
no. It's a wrap.
you
What
know,
happened? I burnt that motherfucker down. What happened to
I
everybody in
was
there?
trying to stay
I'm a
focused and
die.
stay on the facts part. So there are a lot of facts that paint a really bad picture of this dude.
Mhm.
Facts. The accusations? Bro, you killed Biggie and Tupac? Damn. For real? Damn. So
That's what hurt.
you are everything that we thought, that we were told and we thought Suge Knight was. It was actually you.
Mm. I mean, he wasn't nothing but a short little black version of Donald Trump with some power, basically.
Hello. Yeah.
I'm mad. I got all the power, and if I can't have it, you can't have it. Or if I ain't getting a piece of it, you can't have it. And I mean,
Mhm.
all at the end of the day, this motherfucker was nothing but a narcissistic asshole.
Now, with that being said, all right,
Sucks, but
because we talking about the enemies all. Dude didn't have a chance, man. His mom was sexually assaulting this dude. The dude was grew up having sex with his mama. If that's true, how fucked up are you? And you got money, and you got access to money, and you've always been at least groomed to be this way. That was the way it was painted. The picture was painted. So, and he just took it. He took it and
hey,
ran
we've
with it.
seen it. We've seen it. We've seen it. Just what we were talking about earlier, working in certain institutions. You've seen how this person grooms somebody, and then you meet their parents, and you figure out, oh, that's how that happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, this goes a lot deeper than just you. And
Mhm.
you, and we saw the reality in that doc, and it is what it is. And I mean, am I mad at him? Yeah. Am I not mad at him? You kind of a predator and a victim at the same time.
And you know, one of the things
But
I
no
like
love
to
for you though.
say is when you want something, it's not what are you willing to do, it's what are you willing to sacrifice. Because a lot of these individuals stayed
Mhm.
in these situations because they were willing to sacrifice their integrity and willing to sacrifice their morals and willing to sacrifice their booty holes as men to for the money, not because they were into that.
Bruh.
You were doing it because you wanted the money and the fame to go with it. If that's your thing, okay. But now it's not your thing. You just did it for the money. No.
It might not have been doing it for the money, because again, this is kind of on the Bill Cosby level. These are some victims, because okay, you getting a massage, a regular ass massage, but somebody got some G up in there. You are
Okay.
literally soaking that into your skin at the same time doing it. You are not who you normally are. Your brain is on a completely other universe on so many levels that you
Okay,
wake
sir.
up the next morning. Why is my booty hole holding? And who are
I,
you?
I shifted. I'm sorry. I shifted because I shifted because I initially talked about him and the baby oil and drugging people. All right. These parties, this stuff that came out in this documentary, this is new to us. Those folks in the industry, they're talking like, this has been going on. The common knowledge, You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Before the documentary came out, you had all these people telling us, but we didn't know or believe them. Wendy Williams was telling us forever. When Jaguar White came out and said all the stuff that she said, dropped all the little things, it's not until now other people are coming out and are feeling more comfortable to tell their stories. So
Mm-hmm.
people moved in these circles, and there are
Mm-hmm.
some people, Sherm, who they was willing participants. They came all the
Oh,
time.
oh, I
And
am not.
they,
I'm no.
they
I'm
was
not
looking
denying
for the
that.
baby. They was looking for the
I'm not
baby
denying.
or to get in a little extra, you know. But
I'm
there's a
not
lot
denying
of
that. Go
people.
ahead, Trish.
I was
Those
just gonna
people
say
sacrifice.
yes, and I still wonder because he was the videoer, videographer, unbeknownst to people. I don't know if he ended up blackmailing or not. I'm not
Oh
totally
well.
sure,
Yeah, I'm
but
sure you did. Hey, you got
I'm just
video of
saying. So
everybody. You
so so
blackmailing
the
motherfucker.
so if you got G or whatever the hell, all of the whatever the stuff is in there, and you do some things that you do not remember, and you just know that you got these effects, but he can show you what you did and threaten you for that. What you do with that? Like if it would bring you so much shame or so
You
much
saying all
You
the
are
disappointment.
people
trapped
that
in it. You're blackmailed. You're
you saying
trapped. You're
all the
blackmailed.
people you're
I'm
saying
not
all
saying
the
all of the
people
people.
there
I'm not saying
were
all. I'm well. He
my
had, but
point,
he
my
had videos
question.
everywhere. Every place in his house had a video. So if every place has a
All of
video
it.
and he's always recorded, like the one guy was like, "Yeah, I was wondering. We were wondering whether he was God because he knew everything." If he's recording and everything all the time, and there's not a space, I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying even if you did, would that could you? How far are you going? If you know that that's coming out, and we don't know what the hell is on that.
Hey, I just had this. Pardon me for having a crazy vision, but do you think Puff had a spot in his house the same way that Marlon Wayans had in him? He's going to watch tape. Think about it. Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Going to watch some
Prob-
film, and he had it
Probably
there. And
so.
he went into his room and watching this
Mm-hmm.
film. He did. He,
It's just I'm just saying like
I mean, it
I'm not
sucks because you
yeah.
knew that if you knew anything about anything with music anyway, you already knew. I mean, just the average listener already knew. Why is Puff in everybody's song? As soon as they blow up, Puff's on everybody's album, Puff's everything.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the day, I was a liners notes person. I would sit in the studio, playing the song, and reading the entire jacket of
Mm-hmm.
of the
Mm-hmm.
CD and the whole nine. And I'm like, dang, Puff got some of all of this, and he's getting in
Yeah.
all of this. And then like I'm like, oh man, he's not really like first of all, he's not really that talented. And secondly, why are you trying to get in there? Because you get writing credits, because you get publishing credits. So that's why you
You
rich
get
and
all that
everybody
stuff.
else
Yeah.
broke. And then you look at it, that's why Craig Mack never blew up. And then I think the biggest telltale sign is look where Mary J. Blige was. And then her darkest album was just after she left Puff, My Life. Thank God that it was probably one of the most brilliant albums, but at the same time, but her darkest material was just after she left Uptown and Puff and the whole nine. And I think that's another part of the story that hasn't been told is how deep that got.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said from the beginning, or not from the beginning,
He's just
first
manipulated from Jump Street.
yo, those people, there were a number of people who sacrificed their morals. They
Mm-hmm.
sacrificed
Oh yeah.
so many things for the money. They had stayed. They knew what was going on. I ain't talking about the. I feel bad for the average Joe or whoever it was that didn't know and went in and had some terrible experience. But there are an awful lot of
Right.
people who was
Found it.
regular and you did it willingly because you wanted the money, you wanted the fame, you wanted the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
To answer your question, Trish, what would happen if I was trying to? I would not be in that industry, and yeah, he gonna have to kill me. Okay,
Oh,
Well,
you
obviously they didn't have
sexually
no problem with that
sexually.
either. That's my whole point. They
nobody's
didn't have no
walking
problem
out.
with that either.
Nobody's walking out.
I understand, but
Nobody's walking out.
your question to me
Yeah.
was, what would you do? I'm not willing to sacrifice. You're gonna have to kill me because I'm gonna talk, or I'm gonna. First of all, when I find out on site, Okay, first of all, I don't. That's what we're gonna
Mhm.
start with. But if it can't be that, then yeah, I'm talking, I'm telling, I'm doing all of that. So yeah,
Mhm.
I would be like Dave Chappelle. They wouldn't invite me because they know I'm gonna snitch. Shit.
Right. I'm not getting invited to that party.
Mhm.
Or I'm gonna do like a couple of them did. Walk up in there and be like, "Oh man, this is the joint." Oh, what? Walk into the room like, "Oh, okay. Well, you know what?
well,
Ooh,
well,
shit. I
so
got
if
to
you
go."
look, since this been out, I don't watched a whole lot of people talk. So the thing was, then Denzel's thing was, you had to you had to be gone before the devil came. That's what he said. His words, I quote. But most people were like, "No, you just have to be gone by like midnight. Don't stay after midnight. 1 o'clock definitely.
Nah,
Whatever,
man.
whatever.
Nah, man.
I'm, you know, I'm
Man,
kind
I've,
of
I've,
the
I've been
thought.
I've been to a couple of those epic parties, things of that nature, not with
You been
puff,
to a
but
Diddy party? Hold up, dog. Wait a minute.
no, no, I've probably been to some parties that Diddy ain't got nothing on to, but
Oh,
that's a whole European thing. But
Look, I'm not even. I wasn't even about to ask no questions. I'm like, but when
you
they
you
start taking your
you
phones,
know
because
when you yeah,
if you go to a place
you
where they
know when
take
it
your
ain't right.
phone, when they go, if you go to a place and they ask for your phone before you even step in the door, would you still go?
Turn around, turn around. I'm gonna
yeah.
take it back to the movie Him. Just when the dude pulled up in the limo
What,
to the house and the crazy folks was
so
outside, that was your chance to turn around.
yeah, I may still go. What is it? It's just a party I'm going to, and there's celebrities there. Yeah, they don't want any video. If I have the right when I walk in, I have the look around. If this is not my thing, I can just leave. But just because they took my phone, I've been in situations where
Nah,
you know
nah, nah.
don't bring the phone because a comedian's performing and they don't want or
Hmm.
say,
That's
say you went to
different.
say you went to a party, right?
Hmm.
Sure. And this is 19 this is 2000 it's 2000. You went to a party's hype. Look, man, we got special guests. You can't go in. You got to put your phone. You say no. Well, the reason that they don't want anybody to perform, I mean, because it was Prince performing. Would you be pissed?
Oh, I'd be mad as hell.
Yeah. Now you
I
walk
just
in.
asked the question.
Yeah, you can
I just
walk
asked
in
the
and be
question.
like, "Oh, wait a minute. There's a whole bunch of same sex or other things going on and drugs and whatnot that I'm not with." Then I can just leave. I ain't gotta take a video of it. I just do my shit. I'm out.
What if they offer you a drink?
I
You
don't
don't
drink.
drink nobody else's drink. Just like you don't eat it, you can't eat at everybody's house. You can't eat everybody's house. Same thing. You don't take a drink from everybody.
I
Hell
just,
no.
because that's how they got some. Everything wasn't about the baby oil. Sometimes it's the,
Oh, oh no. I
prior
mean, it
to.
was going again. We talking about a top predator
Yeah.
at an apex predator
Man, he
again.
had he had he had fumes being pumped in through the ventilation system. So every time you breathe, your ass was breathing in shit to get you, and you were just inebriated and ooh, I feel free of my faculties.
Mhm.
Mm-mm, bruh. Mm-mm. Oh, yeah. All I'm gonna say is thank God, the good Lord steered me away from music at that particular time when there was opportunities to go to New York, and
Mhm.
yeah, because I was right in the prime time of my disc jockeying on their air and getting with the record companies, and oof,
Mhm.
ooh, Lord. Some said, my mama said, "No, I don't think I really want you to go to New York," and I'm like, "All right, okay, if you say so, I'm gonna attempt to graduate." Whew, because I ain't
Mhm.
gonna lie, I might have been at a Diddy party and be like, "Hey, Sherm, what happened? Hey, man, I can't talk about it, bro. I don't know what happened. Um,
Mhm.
hey, I saw Craig Mack in them though. I ain't gonna tell. I didn't participate, but I ain't gonna tell what I saw. I got to go.
Mhm.
You don't want to work at Uptown, trust me. You good?
Like that would be your thing. That is
Hey,
not the
hey,
place.
Jodeci and them, they all good and everything. You good. You don't need that. You don't need that. You want to go
Mm.
work for an independent label. You be all right.
Well,
You don't need Uptown. Hell no. Hell no.
Well, I think we could come
Ooh.
to a close. We have had our discussions about all of the current topics, unless there's something else.
No, I think we good.
Oh,
When we
I'm excited to look at the new Avatar.
Oh, that came out yesterday, right?
I think so.
Or recently?
I'm not a fan.
Oh my gosh, you're so
The first one was really good. Um,
I only saw the first one. And I wasn't. It wasn't enough for me to see any of them. The rest of them.
oh, I love them.
I just. I don't know. And then I saw this story
The
about this.
message, the message. Yes, no.
right.
No, there was this one African lady that came on and just kind of broke down the theft of the story and the theft of the makeup and the theft of the
Oh
culture and the
yeah,
language,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it just really threw me off. And then I'm a bit biased.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big James Cameron fan already,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I just wasn't the first movie. I was like, all right, it was cool. I watched it because
Mm-hmm.
Sigourney Weaver was in it basically, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, well, that was cool, but
But
not
now,
enough to see the second one. And nah, but I mean, if you love it, hey, I'm with you. You do you, boo.
It's what's it called?
Fire or
fire and
something or other.
ash, fire and ash. I think.
They went from the water to the fire.
Yeah, okay. I was looking at my it's not on here yet. It's only
Yeah, that's right up there with Harry Potter with me. Except I've never seen Harry Potter, so I have no idea. So
Oh.
I've watched some Harry Potters.
can do it.
It's not really my genre. It's like I like the Harry Potters more than I like the Lord of the Rings. I couldn't
Mm.
get
Oh hell no, no. No.
Wait, so you didn't what was the name of the show that was hot? You ain't watched that show on TV? Oh my god, I can't. What's the name of the show that
Which one?
everybody watched with the dragons and stuff? Clearly, you didn't watch it. I obviously didn't either.
Apparently, I have no idea. I don't know,
I'm drawing a
but
blank.
Lord of the Rings though,
It just
it's
ended not too long ago, and it was
with the dragon girl, the blonde girl that holds down the
yes,
dragon. King of
yeah.
Thrones, Throne of Kings,
Yeah, I never looked at
Game
that
of
since
Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. Yeah, no, I didn't get into that either. But Lord of the Rings was like that's a little kid thing for me because like in the elementary school
Yes.
we were reading those books, so I read
Mm-hmm.
all of those books up into, and that was actually one of the first series that I'm like the book actually or the movie actually kind of came
Did
into
the book?
it kind of
Hmm.
worked in my visuals as I was reading the book as a kid. So I was like, all right, this kind of works.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
know, unlike some other books, like I read Stephen King Pet Cemetery, and then I saw the movie. I laughed through the whole movie. I was like, this is nowhere near as scary as this damn book
It's
was.
a book.
Like,
You had no business reading Pet Cemetery at the time that if you watched the movie, that was a long time ago. You was too
book been
young.
out forever.
No. Okay. I thought you read the book when before the
Oh
movie.
no, I read the book like in junior high.
Oh
So it
my
was like ninth
Yes,
grade.
yes, that's exactly what the
Back
hell
to
I'm talking about.
and
You was
and
too
it was
goddamn
and it
young.
was scary as hell. I saw the movie 2 years after, and I'm like, this movie ain't shit. This is a joke. Yeah, you didn't hear you didn't see what was in my head. I'm scared.
mm.
I was reading that book scared in the daytime, bro.
I'm
But on
trying
to
to
other things.
if this app.
Yes.
But
So, well,
what movie should we go see though? Let's put that out there real quick. What movie should we be seeing?
I don't even know what's out, dude.
I
I
still
watch.
haven't
I
seen
don't.
Sinners yet.
It's on like Netflix or something.
It's on
Mm.
HBO. It's
Yeah,
on they
one
it's
of
on
them.
regular rotation now.
All right, damn. I'll watch the damn movie tonight. Y'all judging me and stuff.
Please, yeah, we'll
Wait,
talk about
wait,
that.
wait,
Sinners
wait,
is
wait,
like
wait.
amazing.
You're the one who said it like you should be judged.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
as you
haven't
should
even
be.
watched it yet.
You
You
should
know
be
what?
judged.
You
Yeah,
know
I'm
what?
gonna
Fair
judge you
enough.
right.
Fair enough. Judge me. Judge me. All right. If anybody can
Yeah,
judge me,
I'm
it's you
judging you
two.
right
All
now.
right. I will take that judgment and take my little happy ass downstairs and find some Netflix. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
I have some questions when we turn off the recording.
Okay. All right. So we are at the close of 6 to 12 Eyes with Mr. Sherman Harris and Xavier Block.
Block. Ooh, I
And
like
I am
that.
Latricia
Block.
Petty. Block.
Latricia.
What you
Latricia
say?
Not the
Penne.
Harris, if you know.
Did
Huh?
you say the
Block.
penny?
I
Le
said
Penne.
Miss Penny.
Oh, Miss Penny. Miss. See, he said it at the same. He said something at the same time he talked. I'm like, oh, you redefined
My
yourself. I didn't know you
My,
were the penny. You said
my
Miss
bad.
Penny.
Miss
I was like,
Yes.
okay, I could call you the penny.
I am Miss Penny, is what I said.
I can't do
He
it.
was
Come
Mr.
on.
Harris. You are Xavier Black, and I'm Miss Penny. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Miss Penny Thoughts and Root of the Matter, Sherman Harris, and Sherman Harris Fitness. Yes.
It's Coach Sherman at Coach Sherman.
Coach
Everything on
at Coach
social media
Sherman
is at Coach Sherman.
and
Website, which
Xavier
should be
Black
done hopefully
at
in 3 weeks.
okay at Xavier Black. Xavier Black.
The
That's next
blackness. We just 3 black people doing black people shit.
Pretty much. All right. So enjoy it. We'll be back next month, third Saturday or Sunday of the month, with our new topic and new engagements.
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah, have
Peace and
a
love,
good
y'all.
holiday season
Happy
or whatever you
holidays.
want to call it. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Or time
Kwanzaa,
off work,
damn it.
whatever.
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa. I was gonna say
Kalunda.
Kwanzaa.
Yes. All right. Peace and blessings,
That's a little
everyone.
bit. Bye, y'all.
And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Deuces.